So this they do for a long time. After that they take to prison and other punishments follow. So this was the punishment before. So that person, for the person who's dunked under water, that 5 seconds when he's up, he feels relief. But for you and me, what is that? That's like normal. But that small relief, and then after that is done. Again suffering. So this is exactly how the material world is. There is so much suffering and some flickering happiness. Actually, that is not happiness. That head out of the water, that's not happiness. That's just a momentary relief from suffering, and it guarantees that suffering is again going to come after 5 seconds. So, when we are in a so-called happy state in this material world, it doesn't go forever. It guarantees, if I am enjoying now, there is a guarantee that I will suffer later. And if I am suffering now, there is a guarantee that I will get some relief from the suffering after some time. It's always, ups and downs. So actually, it's basically a struggle for existence. It's not really happiness. So, what is real happiness? That's what today's verse actually explains. So we'll start with some small prayers before we start this verse, and then we can go about discussing this verse. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Kṛṣṇa Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Kṛṣṇa Karuna Sindho Dīnabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshakarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today's verse is chapter 2, text 66. Na asti buddhi ayuktasya na cha ayuktasya bhavana na cha abhavayata shanti ashantasya kutah sukham nasti buddhirayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shantir ashantasya kutah sukham nasti buddhirayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shantir ashantasya kutah sukham nasti buddhirayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shantir ashantasya kutah sukham nasti buddhirayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shantir ashantasya kutah sukham nasti buddhirayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shantir ashantasya kutah sukham nasti buddhirayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shantir ashantasya kutah sukham nasti buddhirayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shantir ashantasya kutah sukham nasti buddhirayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shantir ashantasya kutah sukham Mataji nasti buddhirayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shantir ashantasya kutah sukham nasti buddhirayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayata shantir ashantasya kutah sukham na asti there cannot be buddhi transcendental intelligence ayuktasya of one who is not connected Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Na, not, cha, and ayuktasya, of one devoid of Kṛṣṇa consciousness. Bhavana, fixed mind and happiness. Na, not, cha, and abhavayata, of one who is not fixed. Shanti, peace. Ashantasya, of the unpeaceful. Kuta, where is. Sukham, happiness. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation: one who is not connected with the Supreme and Kṛṣṇa consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Please repeat. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Kṛṣṇa consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Purport: unless one is in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, there is no possibility of peace. So it is confirmed in the 5th chapter, chapter 5, text 29, that when one understands that Kṛṣṇa is the only enjoyer of all the good results of sacrifice and penance, that he is the proprietor of all universal manifestations, and that he is the real friend of all living entities, then only can one have real peace. Therefore, if one is not in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal, and when one is certain that Kṛṣṇa is the enjoyer, proprietor and friend of everyone and everything, then one can, with a steady mind, bring about peace. Therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Kṛṣṇa is certainly always in distress and is without peace, however much he may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life. Kṛṣṇa consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Kṛṣṇa. So this is a prelude, to this whole Bhagavad-gita. The 2nd chapter is the whole summary of Bhagavad-gita. The whole contents of the Gita summarized. So now we can understand from this verse, this is, who is speaking this? Kṛṣṇa is speaking. So whenever Kṛṣṇa was speaking in the Bhagavad-gita, the words are added, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Uvacha means spoke. And Sri Bhagavan means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kṛṣṇa means all attractive. A person who is all attractive, he is God. That means he can attract everyone and anyone without hindrance, if they want to be attracted. If we are just like a magnet attracts iron filings. But if the iron filings are rusted, if the iron is rusted, the attraction is not so prominent. There is very, very slight, but not very strong. But if the rust is removed, the iron naturally attracts the magnet. So that's exactly how we are. Now we are materially contaminated and we have no attraction for God or feeble attraction for God. Even atheist, an absolute atheist, has very, very feeble attraction for God. How is that? For example, however atheist one may be, he will still love someone. And who is that someone? No. Wife or children or friends, he still has affection. So, what is that wife? Is it just the body? No. If there was a dead body of the wife, he will not be attracted by that. He will have no affection. In fact, as soon as possible, it has to be cremated. So, but as long as the body is alive, it's so attractive. And why is the body attractive? Because of the soul within. That soul is a part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa. That's why it's attractive. So, even though he is attracted to somebody, that person, whoever it is a part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa. So actually he has attraction for that one part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa. So it is a very feeble attraction. Nothing can be outside Kṛṣṇa. Nothing can be outside God. Everything that we see, everything that we perceive is actually Kṛṣṇa or Kṛṣṇa's energy. So we are either attracted to Kṛṣṇa or we are attracted to his energy. We cannot be attracted to anything else. There is nothing else. Vasudeva Sarvamiti. So, but one who does not understand the actual link, that actually everybody is part and parcel of Kṛṣṇa. This is called Kṛṣṇa consciousness. To be conscious of Kṛṣṇa, to be conscious of God. Then our affection, our attraction is misplaced. Otherwise, in our pure state, we are irresistibly attracted to Kṛṣṇa. So Kṛṣṇa, his name is Kṛṣṇa because he is all attractive. Why is he all attractive? There is a very nice analysis by Parashar Muni, a great sage. He gave the definition of God, Bhagavan. Bhagavan means God. Bhagavan means, Van means one who possesses, and Bhaga means opulence. Like there is Bhagyavan, one who is fortunate. So Bhagavan means one who is the possessor of all fortune, all kinds of opulences. So there are 6 kinds of opulences that are listed. Now if anybody in this world has any of these 6 qualities, even in little quantity, he or she becomes attractive. What are those? First thing, Aishwarya, wealth. If somebody is very rich, automatically we know he's attractive. Oh, Bill Gates or Warren Buffett or whoever. We automatically, everybody knows him. There's a kind of attraction. Aishwarya. Samagrasya, Viryasya. Next is strength. If anybody is a little stronger than the others, he or she becomes attractive. Like Bruce Lee. Oh, everybody knows. So many fans. So, then there is Yasha, fame. Somebody who is famous, like an actor, or a pop star, or some role model. They also become attractive. Then there is Shriya, somebody who is very beautiful. He or she becomes very attractive. Then there is Jnana, somebody who is very wise, knowledgeable. That person also is very attractive. Even if he has a little more knowledge than we do, we get attracted to that person. Oh, I want to learn, I want to hear from this person. And then Vairagya, one who is renounced. One who has suppose a big philanthropist, he does so much good, but he does not want the limelight. He's not attached to all that glamour and glitter. And he's just down to earth. He's not very attached to what he is doing. That is very attractive. Oh, he's so down to earth, he's so humble, Or a monk. People rever, because it's not easy to do. So, automatically there's an attraction, Or a priest, anywhere in the world. Anybody who renounces, that person also becomes attractive. So anybody who has even one of these qualities in minute quantity becomes attractive. And Kṛṣṇa, Bhagavan, has all these 6 qualities in Infinite quantity. That's why God is all attractive. That's why His name is Kṛṣṇa. It's not because it's an Indian name. Indians, the culture of India is Vedic culture, that's why they have this name. Otherwise, Kṛṣṇa is not Indian or Kṛṣṇa is not Hindu. Kṛṣṇa says, Aham bija pradapita sarva yonishu kaunteya. In the 14th chapter, sarva yonishu kaunteya murtaya samvaya aham bija pradapita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti is Arjuna, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. Kṛṣṇa is saying this. I am the seed-giving father, the father gives the seed. Then the mother can produce the body. So similarly, Kṛṣṇa gives the seed as the father, and the material nature produces the body. Mahat Yonir. Yonir means the womb of the mother. So this nature, we say mother nature, right? We know mother nature. Who is the father? That's the next question. So the next question should be, who is the father? Without father, which mother can produce any child? So when we say mother, scientists, they even use this word, mother nature, but father, no, it's foolish. It's foolish. And there's no even common sense. If I have a little common sense, I should understand that there has to be a father, otherwise there will be no child. So, here the word is very clearly given. Aham bija pradaha pita. Pita means father. I am a seed-giving father of all species of life. Not of one sect, one race, one species. No. Universal. That is God. God is not just like water. Water cannot be, if a Muslim man gives me water, it does not become Muslim water. Water is water. Gold is gold. Like that, God is God. It's not divided by any of this designation. We think like that, but God does not think like that. There are no many gods. No, there is only one. We call Him Kṛṣṇa. Some people call Him Allah. Allah means Almighty. If you see any other name of God, whether in the Vedic culture or in other religions, like for example, Allah means Almighty or the Creator. Might, Almighty, might, strength is one of those 6 qualities which we have discussed. Wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge and renunciation. So Almighty is just one of those 6. And when we say enlightened one, Buddha, the enlightened one. Buddha is actually, of course the Buddhists, they don't believe that Buddha is God, they think he's an enlightened one. Actually Buddha presented himself like that, but actually he's an incarnation of Kṛṣṇa. He did not reveal it. But we know, because these scriptures, although Buddha came 2600 years ago, 5000 years ago, Bhagavatam already mentioned that Buddha would come 2400 years later, and his mother's name is this, his place of birth will be this, and his mission is this. Everything is already mentioned, much before he came. But he will not reveal himself as God. He just says, I'm an enlightened one. So Buddha, enlightenment, knowledge, is again one of the 6. Christ, the anointed one, very beautiful. That is again one of the 6. So if you analyze any other name of God, it magnifies or signifies one or more or a few of those 6 qualities, opulences. But when we say Kṛṣṇa, it includes everything. This is the most perfect name of God, Kṛṣṇa. So, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, so if he is Bhagavan, then his knowledge is infinite. So whatever he is saying is perfect. If I say something, I am imperfect. So if I say something, my knowledge is not perfect, so you cannot count on me. I may be a Nobel Prize winner, but still, I will not be able to give perfect knowledge. Like for example, Darwin's theory of evolution. He got a Nobel Prize, but his theory was never proven right. You give an example where a monkey gave birth to a man. Never. If the monkey evolved slowly to man, then why the monkey is still existing? It should not. The truth is that all species of life are always there. Always there. Even the so-called extinct species, they are never extinct actually. Because every species is not only, we count only on this planet. But the Vedic scriptures treat the whole universe as a whole. In every single planet there is life, full of civilization, full of activity, bustling and hustling with activity. No, not that whole universe empty. Only this one planet is so thick and full of life that there's no space. God is not a stupid engineer. An engineer, if he builds an apartment or a condominium, does he expect only one house to be full of families and everything and all others are full empty? Then why did he build those? Is he a fool? God is not a fool that he created so many planets simply empty. No. Even on the sun there is full of life. We have information from Bhagavad-gita. Sun, the civilization on the sun, the surface of the sun is far more advanced than earth. And Kṛṣṇa spoke the same Bhagavad-gita to him, the king of the planet. We cannot, because our body will not last in such a temperature, we think that nobody can last. Nobody can live there, because we cannot live there. Now, we cannot live in the water. Does it mean nobody can live in the water? There's so many, in fact 70% of the earth is water. And there are so many more millions of species in water than on the land. Just because I cannot stay doesn't mean nobody can stay. This is foolishness. So this is the kind of knowledge that we have, imperfect knowledge. So if I speak something that's bound to be imperfect, then why am I sitting here speaking? No, our thing is that we repeat what Kṛṣṇa says. When we repeat what Kṛṣṇa says, then we are perfect. Because it is not my knowledge. I am borrowing Kṛṣṇa's knowledge and just repeating it. Therefore, a real sadhu, a real saintly person will only repeat what God says. He will never manufacture anything. If I have my own idea, that means I am a rascal. I am a rascal. A sane man will only repeat Krishna's words. Like if a child, Prabhupada always gave this example, Srila Prabhupada, when he gave the lectures, the microphone. A child does not know what is a microphone. For him it is something, it doesn't make sense. But he asks the father, what is this? The father says, this is a microphone. Now, if the child repeats to other person, oh, this is a microphone. Now, he is not wrong. He may or may not understand what is inside, how it works and what it does. But if he says this is a microphone, what he said is not wrong. Because he is repeating the words of an authority. So, if we repeat the words of authority, then we will also be perfect. We ourselves are not perfect. Now, Kṛṣṇa is speaking here, and he is saying, what is that? We'll go back to that verse. One who is not connected with Supreme. Now, as we started off, we all are looking for happiness. Now, Kṛṣṇa, who is the knower of everything, he is giving us a solution how to become happy. And what is the standard of happiness? Because as we said, there are different perceptions of what is happiness. What is happiness for one does not mean happiness for another. Like for the fish, you bring it on the land, it will be, fighting for life. But for you, it is relief. If you are put in the water, you will be fighting for life. Even however expert swimmer we may be, if you are put in the ocean, middle of the ocean, what we can do? You will be fighting for life. Where do you want to swim? So, what may be happiness for one may not be happiness for another because of our conditioning. But in all cases, we are only suffering. If we think we are happy, it's an illusion. It is just, as we discussed, a momentary relief from suffering. Just a momentary relief. It's not happiness. So here Kṛṣṇa is giving us a hint of what is actually happiness. and how to get to that platform even. So the prerequisite of happiness, before we become happy, we have to be peaceful. Now peace and happiness are not same. Peace is the one stage before happiness. Peace means there is no disturbance from misery. That is peace. That's not yet. It's like a person who is sick. When he is just all right, he is not healthy. He has just come out of his sickness. That is the level. That is peace. Where there is no disturbance of the sickness. And yes, Kṛṣṇa. So if the person has to be healthy, first of all his sickness has to be cured. Then he can do his physio or whatever, nutrition and everything, and then he can come back to healthy life. Then he can jump and dance and whatever he wants. So that's healthy life. Full of activity, full of energy. That's healthy life. Lying on the bed of the hospital, just cured from the sickness, that's not happiness. That's not healthy life. That's just freedom from sickness. So this is peace. Peace means just risen above the turbulation of material. Turbulation means sometimes up, sometimes down. Like a plane when there's turbulence. Turbulence. What is turbulation? Turbulence. Turbulence means up and down. So life is like that. Sometimes up, sometimes down. Like the waves of the ocean, when you're put in the ocean, thrown in the ocean. Or sometimes up and sometimes down. Sometimes up. It's like a storm. Life is a storm. Yes, that's not peace. But if you are 1 inch above the water on a boat, you are not suffering. Just 1 inch above the water. That is peace. Okay? So, how can there be any happiness without peace? So if I am at least not free from this, how can I be even happy? How can I be healthy if I am full of sickness? So, and how to get peace? Transcendental intelligence which propels a steady mind. Now, this is the crux now. The whole issue, the crux of the issue is here. We have an unsteady mind. It's not that the whole world is in turbulence. Our mind is in turbulence. Because in this same world, a person who has perfected himself will not feel the turbulence. But he is also in the same world. Like Prabhupada. He is a pure devotee of Kṛṣṇa. He does not feel the turbulence that another person may feel. But he is in the same world. How is it? That means the world is not turbulent, the mind is turbulent. This is actually what Arjuna says in the 6th chapter. Chanchalam hi manah Kṛṣṇa pramathi balavadridham tasyaham nigraham manye vayoriva sudushkam. Actually, the verse before this also he says, yes, because Kṛṣṇa was trying to teach him some yoga, and Arjuna flatly refused. Arjuna said, "Oh Madhusudana." Madhusudana is another name of Kṛṣṇa. So Kṛṣṇa has millions of names. So Madhusudana is not there. The system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. You cannot practice. Now there are this places true yoga, real yoga, all rubbish. Yoga means, first of all, you cannot be in the city, and how can you be in the CBD and do yoga? CBD is the heart of the city, and you're there doing yoga. That's not yoga. Yoga means prashantatma vigata bhi brahmachari vrate sthita. No. Yoga means suchav deshe pratisthapya sthiramasanam atmana nati uchritam nati nicham chailajana kushottaram. Go to the next one. 13. Samam kaya shirogrivam dharayan achalam sthira Samprekshya nasikagram svam dishas chanavalokayan prashantatma vigatabhir brahmachari pratisthita manasamyamya manchitya yukta asita matpara. So Krishna is explaining, first of all, cannot stay in the city. Forget it. Alone, have to go to the forest. Vigatabhir, cannot be afraid of the wild animals. Tigers, snakes, what is coming, what is there. No, I cannot be like this. If I am going to do yoga, there is going to be nobody with me. There is no turning back. There should not be any fear, first of all. And prashantatma, peaceful. And brahmachari pratisthita, free from association of women. No sex life. First of all, this is all, women cannot do this. This was meant for only men. Women were at home. They have to look after the household duties. And they can't do all these things. They're different, physiologically, psychologically different. So many restrictions. So this is not possible. So when Krishna was speaking all these things, actually it is not that it is impractical. It is a practical process. But given the times that we are in, at a certain time, this was a very practical and viable path. People used to do that. There were many great sages. Even now, if you go to Himalayas, you will find there are many sages in the Himalayas who lived for very, very long, 1,000 years, 2,000 years. They live that long by this process. So it is for a very rare few in today's day and age. So it is not suitable for these times. So therefore, Arjuna, 5,000 years ago it said, now in Singapore this is 2017, take 1917 or 1817 or even 1617, 400 years, 300 years back, times were much more quieter and not so busy. This Arjuna was talking 5,000 years ago. How much more sanity was there in society at that time? Yeah. It's not like a barbarian society that science tells us, oh, man was a caveman and the stone man, Stone Age, and he saw some bird run over the fire, and he ate that bird and it tasted nice, and then he knew that cooking was, this is how he learned cooking. All rubbish. It's not that man was an undeveloped creature and then he became developed now. No, it's the other way around. Man was much, much more developed then. Now we have deteriorated. Advancement is not simply some gadgets and some high-rise buildings. That's not advancement. Advancement means how much you are peaceful, how much you are happy. That's advancement. What if I have the whole, I think there's a saying in the Bible, what is it? What profiteth a man who conquers the whole world but loses his eternal soul? So, if he conquers the whole world but he has lost his soul, he has no idea of what he is, that's actually poverty. Poverty is not a lack of money. Poverty is a lack of happiness. These are people, when we do some welfare activity, when we distribute prasadam, we actually make no distinction whether we are distributing food to the poor or rich. Because this prasadam, food offered to Kṛṣṇa, is spiritually beneficial and it is equally good for the rich and poor. For us, the rich are poor and the poor also are poor. Because nobody is happy. As if the rich is very happy. No. They are full of anxieties. The poor is full of anxiety, the rich is also full of anxiety. So the real rich man is he who is happy. And that happiness will come with only Kṛṣṇa consciousness. First of all, a steady mind. The mind is restless. Chanchalam himanam Kṛṣṇa. Arjuna is saying, he is giving a very nice example. Vayureva sudushkaram. What he is saying? The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate and very strong, O Kṛṣṇa, and to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. When there is a wind, a typhoon, 200 kilometers an hour, or even 5 kilometers an hour, what we can do to stop it? There is no power to stop the tornado. If that we cannot stop, the mind is more turbulent than the tornado. Now, how to make it steady then? This is the point now. So, higher than the mind, this is the gradation. There is a way how we can make this mind steady. It's not impossible. We have to understand actually the mechanics, how the mind is situated. So, Krishna says, Indriyani parani ahur indriyabhya param manaha manasastu para buddhir yo buddhe paratastu sa. The working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses. Intelligence is still higher than the mind. And he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. Now, the mind, the body, what makes the body, if there is a dead body, it's just a lump of matter. But the working senses, the eyes, the nose, the tongue, smell, everything, the skin, these are the knowledge acquiring senses. And then the working senses, the hands, the legs, we can do something with this. So all these senses are superior to dull matter because they are active principles in the body, active parts of the body. Now, the senses are governed by the mind. So the mind is the chief of the senses. The mind is higher than the senses. And intelligence is still higher than the mind. So there is a fine difference between intelligence and mind. Sometimes we confuse what intelligence and mind, same thing. No. Mind means it's a factory of desires. I want to do this, I want to do that. Sometimes we say this is good, sometimes we say this is not good. The same thing. Like water, Prabhupada gave the example. Water, Singapore we don't have much difference of temperature here. But in other countries, where winter and summer are like 40 degrees, 60 degrees apart, or even 30 degrees apart. Like summer is like 40 degrees or 45, and the winter is like 0 or minus 20, minus 30. So the same water, in the summer we find it very pleasing. We say water is very good. And when the winter comes, the same water we say bad. Oh, I don't like it. In summer I like. In winter I don't like. The water did not change. It's the same water. But because of my condition, I am perceiving it differently. You see? So this is mind. Mind is simply a factory of desires, and I want to do this, I want to do that. And then some judge, the same thing. There's no rationale in the mind. No rationale. But intelligence is the discretionary power. The mind may force, okay, I want to do this, I want to do this. But by intelligence, suppose I want to steal, I want to rob somebody. I have a desire to rob somebody, But my intelligence says, don't do it, this is not good, There are so many cases when they're caught, and what if you get caught? And the police and the law and everything, it's horrible. Don't do it. So that discretionary power is that of intelligence. So this mind and intelligence are two. But if the intelligence is not strong enough, it becomes subservient to the mind. And suppose I want to rob, my intelligence will become subservient to the mind, and like those hackers, they're very intelligent. It takes intelligence to learn hacking. Hack a big code of military code, military security software or something. To hack that, yes, it requires intelligence, but because the intelligence is not strong, the discretionary power is not strong. So it just follows the mind. Oh, I want to hack this, okay, this intelligence assists the mind to hack it. So, No. See, we have conscience. Suppose when we want to do something wrong, our conscience tells us that I should not do this. Something tells us, some voice in our head tells us, don't do this, I think better not do this. So this is actually the super soul, Paramatma in the heart. Yes. But if we insist and persist, no, I want to do it, then the Paramatma remains silent. Okay, at your own risk. Go ahead. But you have to face the consequences. So Paramatma becomes aloof. He gives the facility for your desire. Just like Prabhupada gave the example. When he was a householder, young householder, his second son was always very naughty. And small baby. And a friend came to his house and they were both, chatting. And so this boy was on his lap, Prabhupada's lap. So there was a table fan next to him on the table.